Hey guys, this is a combat guide for Divine Duel. This is currently what I bring to the battle. And also I'm going to go over some movement tricks and whatnot. Now, if you're a Blast On player, you probably know some of the stuff I talk about. But if you are new to this kind of area movement type of games where your physical body actually embodies your in-game movement, then you should definitely watch the whole video. But starting off, I am going to go over the weapons that I bring. Starting from the left is Hunter's Bow. And if you notice, I have Hunter's Bow and I also have Heavy Sling. So what I do with this too is I do more of an upward shot instead of straight shot, which I will show in the game in a little bit. But also the reason I bring them is just because they have so many attack count. At the same, they have pretty good damage. So if opponent throw up a shield, or if opponent throw up a pillar, which is this podium, this crushing column right here, or I call it the pillar, you could pretty much use this to shoot them down. For example, if opponent is the ice giant, which is this guy right here, you could also shoot down its dragon. If he throws a dragon, you can also shoot down his dragon. So it's just very versatile to have, you know, the shots, right? You could shoot down the boomerang, which is this one right here. So I just think it's very useful to have multiple things that do damage to both aerial or anything that you target. And then there is also the short shot bow. This thing is just pretty darn amazing. I think this is one of the lucky for sure way to hit an opponent right now. So when you're using the short shot bow, you shoot sideways or you shoot up, side tilted up, so the opponent sometimes doesn't see it coming. Because when you're shooting, and when you fire, after you fire the short shot bow, you could fire the other stuff to kind of distract the opponent. Maybe, just maybe, that they look away and they get hit by the short shot bow. And then on the other side, we have crossbow gun, is because the crossbow gun is very easy to aim. So if the opponent is throwing at like a boomerang, is somewhere pretty close, it's just very easy to hold straight aim and fire. It's very good versus the dragon. Pretty much once the dragon passed the halfway point, it's just very difficult to miss with the crossbow gun. If the opponent throws up a crushing column all the way across the map, it's also very easy to aim with the crossbow gun. And then the fifth weapon I have is the crushing column, or I call it the pillar. Pretty much is a very good defensive item. Okay, help you get out of sticky situations. At the same time, you kind of don't have to place it directly in front of you. Place them like very well to the side, so that normally you don't go there. Only when you really need to, you can kind of go to the side. And since there's already pillar there, that can help you block damage if the opponents try to pin and corner you. At the same time, if the opponent really not focused on them, not a non-experienced opponent, they're not going to shoot it down, you could essentially place a row of them or a bunch of the pillar and just kind of push them down all onto the opponent at the same time. And the last one, I feel right now, it's just so easy to dodge everything. I feel the name of the game is really get lucky hitting the opponent, at the same time don't get hit. But sometimes you get unlucky and you do get hit. For those rare times, you can go ahead and use the healing flute, or the flute of healing. It heals 10 damage every 22 seconds. So you could essentially use this like 6 times throughout a match, which you could recover 60 health from it. So definitely, I think this is one of the very troll item to bring. If you have really good dodging skills and your opponent can't really hit you and they finally land 5 to 10 damage, you just go ahead and play the tune, boom, 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 and then piss your opponent off pretty much. With that being said, for boosters, I think there's a lot more boosters. I'm not really sure what is the strongest. Since name of the game is to stay alive, whoever has more health wins. I pretty much, on the left hand side, have damage to heal. So what this is, if opponent shoots anything at you, you could activate this, and pretty much instead of taking damage, it will heal you for the amount that it damages. So sometimes if I'm get really unlucky and get hit by a lot of stuff, and then if the opponent gives, maybe throw down a pillar, I'm gonna go ahead and use, instead of taking the damage with that activated, it will give me the damage as heal to my health. And then this one is just instant heal booster. It doesn't do much, but it does heal you for 5 health. With that being said, let's go over the entire loadout, and I'm just gonna kind of show you how I use it in action. So the way I combo this is I wait for the first 3 to off cooldown. I shoot the regular bow, 1, 2, 3. For shot bow, which is more of a homing bow, left and right. So they're going towards the opponent, and then the follow up with the slingshot from top down. And what's nice about this is not only that I feel this is a better way to shoot a bow. Because now the opponent have to look up, right? But at the same time, a lot of the missions, a lot of the quests that you get, a lot of times that you're gonna get is hit X amount of headshot. And if any of the shot is hitting from top down, it's pretty much going to be a headshot. So I just pretty much have no problem getting headshots for my quest. It's just because every single time I just happen to shoot my bow and also shoot my slingshot from top down. So once again, we're gonna go ahead and go through this whole combo. I do this arrow, 3 of them from top, and then homing missile from left to right, and then followed by slingshot top down. Go, that's it out of the way. Like what we talked about earlier, the 4th item is a great item to shoot down enemy projectiles. As you could see, that was a boomerang. It was so easy to aim it and just shoot it down in mid-air. The same thing as the blue gods or celestials dragon. It's come at you, just go ahead and shoot it down. Once again, and then also sometimes the opponent will place a pillar, like the one that we just placed. Interesting fact, the pillar has 60 health, and this crossbow has 60 damage. So if opponent put up a pillar, you could exhaust the entirety of your crossbow and actually shoot down the pillar in one go, which is really cool. When it comes to the pillars, I feel there's 2 ways to do it. Number 1 is I'm using it like kind of like a jail-free card. If the opponent kind of corner or trash me, and then suddenly I'll go ahead and throw the pillar up. But another time, something else that I do with the pillars, I like to place them onto the side, where usually like the places that I don't go, like I go as a last resort, right? So sometimes I will go to the right-hand side as a last resort, right? And then the pillar can help me block enemy attack. But at the same time, I could also just kind of try not to go to where the pillar is, so the opponent doesn't attack it. And by doing so, I can place down multiple pillars and just wait to throw them down at the same time or push down at the same time. The pillar does not expire as long as health does not get depleted. So you could see right here, this pillar only have half of the health left. So what I do here is I'm actually waiting for the 3rd pillar to show you guys what it look like to kind of push all of them down at the same time. So we're gonna push those, we're gonna push that. As you can see, 3 pillar almost falls down instantaneously. But my opponent bot is a god, so he dodged all of them. And then lastly, we have the flute. And this is very self-explanatory. You play this and you gain 10 health back. Alright guys, with the loadout out of the way, let's go over some basic fundamentals of movement, which if you guys are a Blast On player, chances are you already know. But to be able to look and tilt your body to the side, so just kind of turn to the side entirely, is one of the very easiest way to dodge opponent attacks. So you could totally step to the side when the opponent attacks you. Or another way to do it is turn your entire body and your head sideways. The issue with tilting your body without tilting your head is that your body will not fully turn. So make sure for your body to fully turn, just be sure to kind of turn your body and your head both to the side. Lastly, we're gonna go over out of bound. So in this game, you do not take out of bound damage. That means if you get really outside, you don't take any damage. But what happens is after about 3 to 5 seconds, so for example, being out of bound for 3 to 5 seconds, first the grid will turn red. And once it turns red for another second or 2, we actually forfeit the round. Not the game, but the round. So I like this is totally fine to use this out of bound to pretty much dodge from time to time. Just be sure to not stay out of bound for too long, and then you will lose the round. I am pretty sure that they're gonna change this in the near future, because to be able to go out of bound and not really being punished for it, it feels really just abusive and pretty overpowered. With that being said, I really hope that you found this video helpful. I really find this to be a great game to alternative to Blast Zone. It's just really awesome to see all this, spacing games that are coming out where your real body movement does dictate to win or lose of the actual game itself, which is frictionally awesome. If you do play this game, I would love to know what your favorite weapon in the game so far, and I would also love to know why. Thank you guys very much for watching. This is Woody. Until next time, have a good one.